10 years ago, a visionary leader set out to transform how Africa views and practices leadership. The leadership group has grown into a platform for transforming and strengthening organizations, inspiring leaders, and shaping the future of leadership in the region and Africa as a whole.
I've been very passionate about leadership through all my executive life. It's been something that from the very beginning I saw as something that enables organizations to grow, enables people to grow, builds society, and to be able to deliver whatever objectives they had. So if we have great leaders who are passionate about leadership, they can grow great organizations, they can grow great societies, they can grow great countries, and the world can become a great place. And so that was the motivation for me setting up the leadership group way back in 2015. And therefore, by setting up this institution, the leadership group, the key objective was that we would provide an avenue for leaders to become better and better, to continue to grow over time. So if you look at leadership and the different components of that, we have the leadership development and leadership training, both open and bespoke. We have coaching. Look at our strategy pillar. It's again getting leaders to really think about what the organizations stand for and what they want to be, their vision, what's their objectives, how do they structure themselves, how do they deliver to their various stakeholders.
At the leadership group, our work is built around 7 key focus areas that shape how leaders grow and organizations thrive: executive coaching and mentorship, governance and board practice, culture and change management, human resources services, strategy and innovation, leadership and communication, and technology advisory services. Leadership becomes transformative when leaders unlock the power within them to empower and grow those around them.
When you talk about executive coaching, it is about supporting individuals and organizations to really unleash that full potential that they have. So the coach and the client come together in a partnership to decide what is it that is important for this person. So coaching enables people to gain clarity in terms of what is really important for them. It enables people to get a clear understanding of themselves, of who they are and where they are at a particular point. It's a tool that supports organizations, that supports individuals to think through solutions for themselves. In coaching, we believe that clients or individuals have got great potential. They are capable, they are creative, they are whole, they are complete individuals, and therefore they actually have the solutions within themselves. And what we do in coaching is to trigger that thinking in people so that the best can come out of them. They define who they are themselves.
My role in the leadership group was based out of a need to grow, develop myself. I was engaged by the leadership group to go through a coaching session. So the approach was quite straightforward. I had a 6-session assignment. Each monthly session I had was to develop from the baseline of one topic, developing into it, writing, giving feedback, seeing where I can change, where I can grow. So overall impact, I feel I've grown. I feel I'm voicing a lot more. I'm giving my opinions a lot more, and people can hear what I'm saying.
I came to the leadership group because generally leadership is a lonely space. Many CEOs don't admit that it's lonely at the top. I reached that point where I was feeling lonely. The approach that Martin took me with was very patient. He didn't judge how I felt, but he just helped me just navigate through that thought process, that feeling that I was getting, and helped me understand through listening. So I really appreciate what the leadership group has done, and I recommend anybody who is in this space, this coaching process, particularly with the leadership group, is something that everybody should explore.
I do remember the first time I walked for my first coaching session. I didn't think it would last long, but I walked inside there, and this comes a lot from the African perspective, especially for us Gen Xers. You don't go open up your heart to people for your thoughts. I didn't see us moving beyond session 1 or 2, but as I walked in there and we had a very good, very candid discussion with him, Martin and his team have a very humane approach to to leadership. And that's what I found to be very amazingly different.
Martin has walked me through the journey of being a regional business lead at the Coast region, through my transition back into Nairobi as a segment marketing lead, through my product role. When I was doing the interview for the Chief Consumer Business Officer role, Martin walked that journey with me, and here we are. He helped me to redefine my role as a general manager. So the first thing was about setting the vision and being very clear about that vision. The second thing was about creating excitement about that vision, creating clarity, creating alignment, creating inspiration about that vision. Number 3 was about setting the right team. And he walked with me through that journey. I have now understood what it means to be a leader, to set the vision, to execute it, invest in yourself so that you also lead by example. Highly recommend Martin Odwor, especially if you're looking to go to higher levels of leadership. Absolutely fantastic experience.
Strong governance is the bedrock of successful organizations.
Within the governance pillar, we provide 3 things. One is the area of board development, and board development comprises training of board members. The second thing we do is board effectiveness. So some of the jurisdictions or some of the regulators require that once every year there should be an evaluation of the effectiveness of boards of directors to find out how they have performed during the year. What skills do they feel that they should bring on board? How effective are their tools of succession? Third area, which is around governance audits. Over the last few years, some regulators have introduced the concept of governance audits, which is go in as a leadership group and do an audit to find out how well the organizations have performed from an audit perspective.
So we wanted an independent professional body that could work with our directors, interview them, and find out their own assessment of their performance in the past year. So we found that the leadership group, having done this before and perfected their craft, were ideal for us because they understood that the outcome was not just the interviews and the assessment, it's also projecting the findings and converting them into actionable board actions. Every year has brought out the insights that we are looking for, and we have actually incorporated a lot of the insights even in our own strategic planning. Our directors are a lot more professional as a result of this exercise.
For the 2 years that we've had the leadership group conducting board induction and manager induction, you've seen tremendous improvement in terms of corporate governance, aligning with the members' expectations, and of course carrying along with us various stakeholders, that is the staff, the suppliers, and visitors coming to our club. So actually it was a gap that the leadership came in and plugged it very, very well. And therefore I can say that this is one of the clubs that is properly and professionally managed in this part of the world.
At first we had some challenges because almost all the directors who had been appointed then did not have very good experience in terms of governance, although they had a background a little bit. And that's where now we decided we need to do something about it. The leadership group came with a good package for the directors. And I have to say, I have seen great transformation of the board from the time when we couldn't sit and agree on issues up to now, where now we are almost ranked one of the best boards in the current government. We pride that training or the achievements which we've got from the leadership group. The team of leadership group can really pull you from somewhere where you feel you are failing to now become successful.
We were looking to enhance the effectiveness and accountability of our governance structures as an organization, to know where we are strong, to know the areas we could improve on. We went to the leadership group specifically to ask for support for a board evaluation. They went ahead to put together a team of experts. What I really appreciated from the leadership group was their putting together a team that had depth and specialization on the area of governance. Their professional way of engagement and the availability as well served to really make for a very meaningful engagement for our board, the senior executives, and for that we are a better organization.
As for culture and change management, transformation happens when people own the change they create.
So in our culture pillar, two things essentially that we do. One is to work with the organization to try and find out what's their culture aspiration. What do they really want to be known for? What do they want to be like? How do they want their clients and stakeholders to experience them? And then what we do after that is we work around using our methodologies, using the feedback that we've gotten from the teams, both at the operational level and the leadership level, and then build what we call our culture transformation roadmap. The roadmap enables us then to say, for you to get to your culture aspirations, these are the steps you need to take. This is how long it will take you. These are the resources you need. These are the processes that will be involved.
Every great organization has to purposefully move from vision to strategy to execution. Execution is where strategy comes alive.
Our success in delivering strategy is when we go back to the organization midway through the strategy, at the end of the strategy, and they tell us they were able to implement it successfully and to create impact.
This journey between Kenya Bankers Association and the leadership group began in 2023. At that time, we were looking to develop our new strategy for the year 2024 to 2028. We were pleasantly surprised. First, we were able to conclude the process within time. Two is the fact that all through our meetings, we were honored to have all the senior leadership team within the group. With that, again, we were able to reach out to all our stakeholders.
Recently, this year in 2025, as Saruni Base Camp, we had started unpacking our next areas of growth, where we want to go as an organization for the next 3 to 5 years. We're calling it the strategy plan, having come out of the last strategic plan. And what we felt was we needed an external kind of input into this. Somebody who has done this before, somebody who can work with us through the thoughts we have and package them together into where really we should go into. So, and there was no better place than working with the leadership group again. So we landed then on the table with Percy and his team. And for the last few weeks, then we've been unpacking this plan together as a team and saying, does it work? Does it not work? What do you need to change? What should you do better? What worked in the last time? So we've been going through that process. We're still going on with it. And hopefully very soon we'll be able to launch our 5-year strategic plan as Saruni Base Camp with the leadership and help of the leadership group.
Well, the approach that the leadership group uses for us was new, the ideation, which brings in bold thinking, very new thinking, and yet simple enough for the topmost person in the organization to the lowest to identify with. They were available to us not just through that process, but post that process to refine the targets and cascading those targets to the departments and reviewing them on an annual basis. Because normally consultants come and after that process they're gone, but the leadership group works alongside you.
Our first encounter with Dr. Martin Rotino was in 2022. He came with his team, Dr. Percy Opio and Obara Nyega, and they spent the whole day with us practically. And they took us through the cascading traces model, what are our goals, how we'll organize ourselves, where we will play, how we'll win, and how we'll measure our success. So in the next few months, that was in September 2023, they conducted interviews, reviewed our documents, and gave us a very elaborate plan that by June 2024, we already had a strategic plan that was working and that was adopted.
What really stood out for me working with the leadership group is that Martin and Percy have actually been in banking. They've walked in our shoes. So everything they shared felt real and relatable. The sessions did not feel like a training at all. It was more of a conversation about what's happening in our industry, how leadership is changing, and how we can serve our markets better. What I really liked is the fact that they challenged you, but they also really understood where you're coming from as a leader.
When leaders communicate clearly, they cultivate trust, and that trust drives action, turning intention into lasting measurable results.
As part of my responsibilities at TLG is really to work with the clients to create a great leadership experience, to empower leaders to be more effective in how they show up for their teams and for the organization, to be able to actually show the right traits as a leader, because the teams are looking after you as a leader to be able to show the way, to be the best.
So as part of our strategy for DFCU Bank, we are looking at how can we grow to become the next big bank in Uganda, and what are our plans to ensure that that bank successfully grows. So we were looking for people who can work with us to make that dream happen. And in this context, we then got in touch with the leadership group, and the first engagement with them was to actually train our board. It was a very successful training. He challenged us with a lot of issues, but also brought his own experience in terms of chairing boards, but also his role as an executive. So he was able to play both roles. We then realized we need to do a much more comprehensive development of the leadership team in the bank, in terms of now deepening and strengthening the leadership team and creating an environment that can create a high-performing team. And that's the work we're currently doing at the moment.
We are addressing the challenges in partnership with the leadership group by implementing a comprehensive multi-phase engagement focused on developing internal leadership capacity and establishing a scalable organizational system. The approach covers training, consulting, and coaching. What stands out for me about the leadership group's approach is the broad experience of the facilitators. Even though the program is still ongoing, we have had measurable impact. We are on track to achieve our revenue goal for the year, and we're very confident about our future.
In addition, the leadership group extends its expertise to human resource services and technology advisory, helping organizations build stronger teams and smarter systems.
So our HR pillar is grown into our solutions list based on the need. Clients coming to us and say, we need to recruit some CEOs, senior management, members of our board. Can you help us? And therefore, what we do is then we apply our executive and board search methodologies to be able to find the right fit for the organization.
Technology advisory services is one of our newest offerings. We started offering it in 2025. And the reason why we did that, for every strategic plan or strategic initiative we have with organizations, we realized that, and we try to show them that technology is part of business. Technology is not there to support business, it's now part of business. You can't separate the two. And because of that, we realized that there's an opportunity for us also to help organizations build in technology into their strategies, and technologies that respond to the overall corporate strategic intent. Leaders need to be data-driven to make decisions. And how do you get that data? It's by having the right technology that can analyze the data that you need to make decisions. So that's how technology fits in, and it's very, very important.
Each of our partners is a testament of the leadership group's decade-long journey of purpose. Proof that when leadership aligns with vision, transformation becomes inevitable. And for the leadership group, this anniversary celebration represents a renewed commitment to continue shaping leaders, strengthening institutions, and driving the continent's transformation.
The thing I'm really most proud of is the transformation that we've been able to deliver, and been able to have the right mechanisms to drive the organizations over the last 10 years. The vision remains to really deliver that which we are good at, which is leadership.
So, what makes the leadership group the right partner to deliver impactful solutions to your organization?
Key thing to note is our core values: integrity, agility, and impact happens to be among them. We don't only just speak about leadership. Ours is to ensure that leaders are motivated, transformed, to live it, to embody it as a team.
At the leadership group, we know one truth: people are the heart of organizational success. We build environments where your team feels valued, supported, and inspired to perform. My role is to walk their journey with our clients, combining leadership coaching with talent expertise. It is a privilege to contribute to this journey and to support organizations in building truly people-driven, high-performing workplaces.
The leadership group, they are experts in their field. Not only do they have that technical knowledge, they also have walked the walk, they have the experience, and they work side by side with the clients, making sure that they're designing and delivering projects that will be impactful. I bring that passion, that expertise and commitment to change. And it has been amazing to partner with them on the journey and amazing to see the impact that they've had over the last 10 years.
I work on projects that focus on governance, and in my background of law, it has shaped on how I approach governance assignments through ethics, clarity, and sound decision. And I'm glad to be working in a firm that believes in strong governance.
The leadership, particularly under Martin, is a very inspirational leader. He's created an environment where staff ideas are heard, and also creating an open door policy where you're able to communicate freely what your ideas are and you feel heard.
So mainly in our pillar, what we do is developing strategy, having trainings on strategic discussions and topics. In that whole process, help them align their systems, their people, their culture, now to be able to achieve the direction that they've set.
With the work we do, we don't just train to tick a box. We really want to transform the organizations and the leaders that we work with, build meaningful relationships, build sustainable impact.
I'm inspired by the teamwork, how they support each other, the togetherness, the shared goals.
When I think about the TLG impact, I think about the quiet transformations that are within our clients and even within our team. So I've watched leaders walk in uncertain and with very complex issues, and after you see them walk out with clarity and with renewed purpose. That's really what we call the TLG way, how we humanize leadership.
For 10 years, the leadership group has shaped leaders, strengthened institutions, and transformed organizations across the region with an eye for the wider continent of Africa. Looking ahead, our mission remains the same: to grow leaders and support organizations committed to leading well. The leadership group enters the next decade with momentum, strengthened by trusted partnerships and meaningful impact. Join us as we step into new opportunities to transform how our organizations lead and perform.